Hello everyone, this is White Wolf, and I wanted to talk about emptiness, the abyss of emptiness. When we allow ourselves to be empty, we allow ourselves to be pure, meaning that there's this purity that comes over us when we allow the light to transmute the dark, and we allow ourselves to always clear the energy, to clear the perceptions, to initiate different illusions, and to initiate different experiences that we feel deeply within our hearts. And understanding that we are this nothingness, we are this black hole of creation. We are the 0 point creation that we experience on a moment-to-moment, day-to-day basis, that we are literally nothing. And we don't have empirical evidence of what we experience on a day-to-day, moment-to-moment basis because it's a part of the illusion, it's a part of the creation, it's a part of the unfolding of light and the unfolding of light, and it's allowing ourselves to see that when we allow ourselves to be truly empty, to truly let go of the physical perception, to fully let go of our ego, of our vanity, of our lust, of our problems, of our attachments, of our deception, when we allow ourselves to let go of that completely within ourselves, we have completed something, and we have had this pure accomplishment of really realizing who we want to become. Not assuming what we want to become, not affirming what we want to become, but really confirming that we are nothing. We are not a physical body, we are not our thoughts, we are not our emotions, we're not our eyes or our ears or anything that we deem important, but we are the heart of the universe, we are the illusion, we are the omnipresent positionless, we are the formlessness that we are seeking, which is the God within, which allows the light to take hold and take root and to allow for the creation to shine through you. So we allow ourselves to be empty so that the space can be occupied, because then it's not a dense, heavy, unopened space. It's not a space where you can be vulnerable. But now you can be sensitive and vulnerable and alive and aware, and understanding that the emptiness is the abyss. We are not trying to fill the void, we are what fills the void into creation. So our emptiness is a preferred state of detachment. It allows ourselves to detach from the illusion completely. It allows ourselves to be attached to something that is more preferred and more in alignment with your direct perception over who you want to be in this moment. So it allows you to purify every single experience as an extension of what you're tapping into. It allows you to know that you are what creates the experience, what generates the experience, what allows the experience to come into being. And because of the emptiness, because you allowed the light to take root in your vessel, to allow it to occupy your vessel, to allow yourself to really channel the higher self, you're channeling God within this human form, and you're trying to bring awareness into being by just being yourself. So the abyss of emptiness is to let go every single day, and to know that you don't have to care about anything. You can ditch expectation. You don't have to focus on something to accomplish it, and you don't have to try to manifest it in a meditative state. It will come when it needs to come within the divine timing. But the abyss of emptiness is choosing to let go. It's choosing to let go of the physical focus. It's choosing to let go of what you deem important. It's choosing to see that you are the emptiness, and you have to face that. You have to face yourself. You have to reach the end of the false self to embrace the higher self, to embrace the truth, to see that everything is an illusion, it's a projection, it's a vibration, it's a frequency. And to see that within ourselves is to know that we all have to face this. Because it's a choice to be empty. It's a choice to be pure. It's a choice to sacrifice everything that you deem important, everything that you imagine, everything that you feel, everything that you think that you are and that you assume that you are, but you don't have empirical evidence to really prove that. But you don't need any, because you realize that by tapping into this here and now, that the abyss of emptiness allows the light to come crashing in. It allows the purity inside of you to really know that the abyss of emptiness is the abyss of clearing. It's emptying out yourself. It's clearing everything out of yourself, and it's purifying everything, and it's condensing everything into a container that allows you to really know what you want to become. So you're trying to become the container of creation. You're trying to have a filter that is adopted by truth and not indoctrination. You're not indoctrined by a truth, but you know the truth. It's your truth. It's your resonance. It's your awareness of being. It's being aware of yourself. It's being aware of what you deem true or sacred or feeling itself. But you literally just ditch what you think is real because you realize that it wasn't real to begin with. But you realize that imagination, bliss, ecstasy, the meditative state, the meditative path, the projection of consciousness, the energy that swirls into your vortex, and your outer vortex and your inner vortex, but also the Akashic record. Everything that is a counterpart of creation has nothing to do with the physical focus. It has nothing to do with what we physically see here, and it has nothing to do with what we physically feel or think or assume or act out upon. But it's really just the innate understanding that we don't need to understand, and we don't need to know, and we don't need to align to anything except for the direct correlation of our coordinates of the source codes. If we allow ourselves to be a cosmic codex, and we allow ourselves to transverse space and time, and we allow ourselves to quantum jump into our future manifestations, because we see that it's not beholden to the physical focus. It's not beholden to what we deem important, what we feel is important, what we're attached to, how we go about life on a day-to-day, moment-to-moment basis. We can see that the abyss of emptiness is the abyss of purity. It's the abyss of letting go. It's the innate wisdom that you are not occupied by any outside forces, but you're occupied by a force that's an immovable force of electromagnetic kinetic source energy. And you ditch everything that you ever learned because you're choosing to be empty so that the light can take root and can take hold and can dictate how you create within this world. It's helping you manifest an absolute reality within yourself, but also within others' lives, because we can be of service to so many different people. This is really giving your life to God, giving everything up to God, giving everything up to your guides and your higher self to direct you as a human being. Meaning that you don't want to live the life that you once were living, because you want to be in the land of the living and not in the land of the night of the living dead. Because that's not fun. That's Groundhog Day. That's perpetuating a false self. That's a revolving door. And then once you step out of that realm, you step out of that realm and you literally create your own spiritual realm, your own spiritual playhouse, your own realm of imagination, your own realm where you get to decide by a snap of a finger what you want to create. That the keys to the castles are yours. You just have to figure out what you want to do with that Ferrari. Do you want to go like 40 miles an hour in a Ferrari? I don't think so. You want to fucking put your foot on the gas and accelerate, right? You want it to be exciting and vibrant and fun, and knowing that you can drop those little nuggets of gold and those little light codes and those barrier breakers that will just shatter and generate a ripple effect in the face of consciousness. Because God doesn't want us to suffer. God doesn't want us to feel hurt. Our higher self does not want us to suffer or laughs at us. But our higher self gives us guidance and wisdom and trust and faith within ourselves to really see that every time that we empty something out of ourselves, we're using exclusion and inclusion. Every time that you include something, you're excluding something else. This is the law of subtraction and the law of addition. So you're subtracting this out of your space and adding that into your space, which is creating space so that you can create differently. And then you're allowing more of that rainbow energy to come into your space, which is the adaptation of all color. The rainbow encompasses all color. It embraces all color. It embraces all states of beings. It embraces all parallel selves. It embraces the monad, the I am presence, here and now. So it's embracing everything that we have acceptance towards, and acceptance beyond our own personal biases. Or we feel like we're not ready, or we feel like we're not ready to tap into that, or we feel kind of the hesitation or the fear or the lack of awareness or this unworthiness that comes in. And you can ditch that in an instant if you just know that you're the abyss of emptiness. If you are empty, then that means that there's so much light to be enjoyed, imbibed, and embraced. And if you just embrace that, then you are not living in darkness. It transmutes the darkness. It imbalances the feminine and the masculine completely when you choose to be empty. It's a proper state of just kind of eating your own shit, in a sense. Kind of facing yourself, facing your inner demons, or facing what you deem is holding you back. And if we choose to do this, then we don't have to waste time on this earth or sit for 30 years under a bonsai tree and wait to be enlightened. You can have it instantly in a meditation. In a 10-minute meditation, it can instantly change how you feel. You could be frustrated, pissed off, kicking your house for some reason because something didn't go right. And then once you meditate, you realize that you're in the astral planes and you're also in the abyss of emptiness that allows the light to come in, and it gives you that subtle reminder, that subtle kick in the pants to kind of get you on track. So being fast-tracked determines how much we want to learn, how much we want to persevere, and how much we want to make the most of this human experience and how to heal the conditioning. And the only way to do that is to really find the inseparability and separate ourselves from what makes us our lack beliefs and what makes us small and what makes us compounded and put into these categories, or forcing ourselves to not live our best lives, or just being so introverted that doesn't allow us to be more open and wise and loving and choosing to have the zest of life instead of playing it safe, which I've done in my life, and that's why I'm giving the message. So we have to play the fool, we have to be the hypocrite, we have to be delusional and to think that we can live our best lives. Because if we don't do that, then we're never going to live our best lives. We're never going to achieve it if we can't be stupid and delusional and crazy as fuck. We have to be crazy as fuck and delusional, and we have to play the fool. We have to play the fool because it allows us to know that we don't need to know anything. And if we don't need to know anything, then that means that it gives us a vantage point of knowing more. And if it gives us that vantage point of knowing more about ourselves and more of why we're here, and more of the understanding of how much we can impart onto this earth and not allow it to suffer anymore. Because we go through our own transgressions so that other people don't have to go through their own transgressions. So if we give the ability and to give someone that grace, the true grace that brings you to your knees, that shakes the darkness off, that shakes all the other stuff that you've done in your past or in your past lifetimes, and it makes you fall on your sword. Because it's graceful, because it lifts you back up off of your knees and letting you know that you don't have to scrape your knees for God to love you. That the love has already been given to you. The truth, the way, the love, and the light of the oracle has already been given to you. You just have to recognize it. Just recognize yourself, love yourself, know who you are, child of the light, whoever's listening to this, even if it's just one person. It's just the ability to just not give a fuck. You just don't care anymore because you know the preferred state of consciousness. You know the preferred state, you know the truth, you know the way, you know the light inside of yourself. So why would you question it? Why would you have any arrogance towards it? or any bashfulness about it. It doesn't give you room to be bashful when you're emptying and clearing and letting go and healing and really owning up to yourself and taking accountability and really facing yourself, understanding that we all have to face the emptiness, because it clears so much out of ourselves so that we're able to give that back to another person. And to know that, yes, I've been through the dark night of the soul. I've been there, I've done that. I know you and you know me. And we know each other. Without even physically knowing each other. We don't have to know each other to physically know each other. But we see the inseparability, we see the extension of God within everybody, within everything. And we allow ourselves to grow and to change and to be wise and wondrous. So even if you make the decision today to completely revamp your life, to change your life in this moment, that I choose not to be the suffering, I choose to not be the distortion, and you're just choosing to not live the way that the world has been living for centuries, because it's time for us to uproot civilization, to make a very big impact in the world, in our lives, and in the lives of others. That we have to give that back. We have to give that purity and that emptiness and that sense of detachment, completely detaching from the illusion, so that you can manifest your own illusion and delusion. We're all manifesting our own illusion and delusion and craziness. So pick your crazy. It's kind of like when your father said, or your mother said, you know, pick your kind of crazy. If you're picking out a husband or a wife, pick out your crazy. Well, pick out your own crazy. And you're kind of dealing with yourself in that, right? This allows you to be clear, crystal clear with what you want to do, what you want to be. Who are you? And if you can just proclaim that and declare that, then there's nothing to be said, because you have already been given the gift of life. It's been given back to you. To receive the blessing is to be the blessed indeed. That's it. That's all you have to do, is to just be the blessed indeed. So I want to do this technique for the person who's watching. And I want you, for a brief moment, to not think, to not say, to not do, but in this moment just be. Just be in this moment, right now. Have this moment of purity with me, if you'd like. Just have this moment of purity. I cannot define an assumption. I cannot define that I am this thing, or I am that thing, or I am a person, or feelings, or emotions, or thoughts, or circumstances, or experiences. I don't have any empirical evidence beyond phenomenon, beyond what I physically know. But if I allow myself in this moment to be the abyss of creation, to be the emptiness, to be the purity of mind, to be the purity of heart, and to be the purity that allows me to access that transcendental consciousness, that allows me to empty out my space. I have a new space, I have a new office, I have something to impart on this wisdom, that everything about me comes from a sense of truth, comes from a sense of unity, comes from a sense of being firm and fair, because I am the emptiness. I am not trying to fill the void, but I am what fills the void. So you are what fills the void. You are the light that appears. You are the appearances and the reflections and the preferences. So if everything is a reflection of you, then that means everybody is you. And what that means is that you are the illusion. Manifest your own illusion. Make it crazy, make it wild, make it imaginative, but it's just yours to play with. Have a moment of clarity where you don't have to think. You don't have to be indecisive. You can literally just be automatic. It doesn't mean that you don't have feelings or that you're a robot, but you just have an automatic beingness. You have an automatic way about you, your choices, the distinction, the authority, and the purity that shines through you. Can you stand the nothingness? Can you embrace the light within your vessel, every part of your vessel, and just give your life to God's source energy and the great I am? And allow yourself to be the oracle of divine wisdom. That you don't see anything harming you. You don't see anything as a problem. You don't see anything as not a representation of you, a reflection of you. Because everything is a reflection of you. So everything is just trying to get you on the path. It's just a guidance mechanism. With your emotions, with your circumstances, with your relationships. It's just a subtle reminder so that you can get that validation and start manifesting those synchronicities and confirmations and be able to have that sense of purity within yourself. You don't have to feel lacking of anything. But this is tapping into the heart. This is really going from your heart centers, because that's the first brain above what your brain is. But the mind is not designed to make you happy. The mind is not designed to keep you content. The mind tries to play tricks on you. And that's why we have to let go of the mind and literally embrace the spirit so that it doesn't limit the physical mind or the physical space or the physical inhabitants. And when we don't have any limitation or expectation or dictating anything within our reality, then we have this purified sense of detaching from the illusion. But it's just kind of turning the knob a little bit on the volume. It kind of like, if you're not tapped into that frequency, if you're not aware of the frequency or the psychic knowledge, sometimes you just need a tune-up and you kind of need to turn the volume so that you are hearing the messages. You are sending those smoke signals out and you are reflecting to the heart of creation what you want to become in this moment. Because you're embracing simultaneity and you're embracing the simultaneous presence. The present moment here and now. Not yesterday, not a second ago, but right now. You're embracing it. And then there's that purity. That's the purity that smooths things over in that deep water horizon, that you are there. And that allows you to completely depart from the things that just bring you such annoyance. And then you can finally ignore it. You can finally not even give it the time of day. And then you have the ability to psychically really to protect yourself from all the other nonsense. It just allows you to kind of just deflect in a proper way, not in an unhealthy way, because that's running away from yourself. But you're not running away when you're choosing to be empty, because you're holding yourself and holding your feet to the carpet. You're kind of forcing yourself to change, to really make a profound change and really implement your meditative path and really delve deep within yourself. To think about your speech patterns, to think about how you act in this certain circumstance or this situation or this experience. It allows you to just kind of hunker that down and to break it off Break off the chains that are binding you to places. We don't have to relive the same day. And you might have the same day, but it can be slightly different. And you can discern that, wow, okay, there's a change happening because it's becoming slightly different. That's awareness. That's deciphering. That's when you are able to pick up on the signs and the reminders or the nudges in the right direction that you're doing everything you need to do in this moment. But being empty means that you're just holding space for the entire collective. That you're not putting up a fight, you're not resisting, you're not being so hard to get along with. You're not having you're breaking the habit of being yourself. So now that you're breaking the habit of being yourself, now you're developing a new habit of following your dreams, following your alignment, following the truth of what everything is. And you're just kind of being that, choosing to be that, choosing to wear that necklace of royalty, knowing that you're worthy of everything, knowing that you're the absolute reality fully realized before creation and after creation, even before you incarnated here. That you are that power that initiated it, that set it into motion, set the miracle into motion so that you can be the blessed indeed. And then there's only just God. There is only just Source. There is only just love. And if it can be that freeing, that is the abyss of emptiness. Because you're allowing yourself to be empty so that the Spirit can shine through you in everything that you do. And just think about how that made you feel when you had that moment of clarity with me, that moment of purity with me, that sense of understanding with me, that there was nothing there but God, nothing there but love, nothing there but you being the oracle of your life. There's only that. And that's it. I wasn't even expecting to do that, but I did. And what's funny is that throughout our lives, throughout our progression, throughout when we change, we see where we were trying to justify God. We were trying to justify not being creative, not being ambitious, not being able to make our own choices and our own decisions. But you have the ability to do that. You have the ability to make your own choices and decisions and be yourself finally, authentically. There's a courage with authenticity. There's a courage to share your truth. There's a courage and a perseverance because it's the pursuit of the journey that has no destination. It's the pursuit of the journey itself. It's the pursuit of you jumping in to that really cold water that just kind of like shocks you awake. And it's kind of like an earthquake of creation. It just kind of like shakes you up. It just makes sure that you're on the right path and you're doing what you need to do. So guys, also, I wanted to let you know, I have private sessions as well. It's $150 for 1 hour and $250 for 2 hours. And I do psychic readings, healings, activations. I'll probably do it tonight around 10 or 11, where I do psychic readings, healings, activations, and connect with you guys on a deeper level with spirit. But I hope that you were blessed by the message. I would hope you were blessed by the moment of purity. Because sometimes we just need that. Sometimes we need a moment of purity to be alone, to be by ourselves, just to kind of open up in a greater way so that we can allow ourselves to just kind of flush out all of the toxins and just give ourselves a moment to breathe once again. Because sometimes we have so much going on in our lives and we're go, 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 and we're designed that way. But meditation and having a moment of purity, having a moment of clarity and silence allows you to kind of drown that out and to not allow it to occupy your space. And that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it, because it just kind of like, just kind of lets the rainbow energy shine down on you and allows everything just to come back into balance. But just be yourselves, you know, just be yourselves. And if people hate you for it, then let them hate you. Love the people that hate you. Because at the end of the day, if you're doing something from a genuine source of love and a genuine source of energy and a genuine source of light and love and vibrancy, then how could it not be loving? How could it not be from the essence of God's source energy and the great I am? But it's also just you honing in and finding that direct source within you to have that inseparability, but also to debunk and to really eliminate the deception of being human. It clears the deception of being human. And it gives you perception. And it gives you the truth that supersedes all understanding. So thank you guys for being a part of this live. I love you. And I hope you have a great day. And this is White Wolf signing off, and so it is. Book private sessions, text me on TikTok. And until next time, this is White Wolf. Thank you.